So this next part, I really like this. This is where we're going to dive in just to see what you guys think about economics. I know that sounds scary, but one of you explain to me what you believe, or what in your mind is socialism. Grace.
I'm not good with this.
It is.
Just whatever in your mind.
That's a good term for it.
Yeah.
That was a good answer. I don't.
Great answer.
No. What it is a 10th grade standard. I just learned it, but I don't remember it. I don't like it, but what I did know from it is that they just like try to make everyone come together, but they take stuff away from you.
Okay.
That's what, like, I don't know if that's right.
That's fine. We're here to.
I didn't pay attention to it,
that's
but
okay. Babe. No.
I have no idea. Look, I have no idea, honestly.
Okay, that's fine. Nick.
Well, first things first, screw the commies. Anywho,
okay.
You're in friendly territory.
FYI, he wanted me to say communism.
well, that's what socialism basically is.
I know.
As well as democratic socialism and Marxism. They're all the same thing.
So what's socialism?
Socialism. It's basically a governmental system where you are. Okay, wait, no, I'm getting confused when I say the same thing as communism. I'm kidding. It's basically just you're forced to share everything and basically just so I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a lot.
Oh, never mind. I remember this.
It's basically like it's like the best way how I always been told is that you have two cows. Okay, socialism takes one cow, gives it to another person who didn't work for that cow. He worked for the cows. It's your cows. Anywho, communism.
When they take the cows and shoot you for it.
Capitalism earn it and they can take it away from you.
Yeah.
They're not very pro-business. They usually like to push this mentality that big companies are bad. Monopolies can be bad. They can be.
Usually monopolies are done through crony capitalism. Usually it's a truly free
Like
market.
really big monopolies.
Yeah. All right. So basically socialism is where the government comes in and they take from those who have, give to those who not. They redistribute the wealth.
Okay.
It's kind of like a.
Yep.
Anywho, it's basically kind of like a degenerate Robin Hood, except even more degenerate.
David, tell me what capitalism is.
Capitalism is basically, it's not like socialism. Socialism eliminates that gap between rich and poor by making everyone poor, everyone on the same playing field. Capitalism makes you earn it. Basically, socialism, you end at the same place. Capitalism, you begin at the same place. Because the thing is, if everyone begins at the same place, some people are going to succeed, some people are going to fail. In terms of socialism, it doesn't allow people to do that by themselves.
Exactly. All right. So let me ask this question: is it moral, in any case whatsoever, for the powers that be, government, to take from those who have and give to those who don't?
No. It's equal. It's still.
I mean, no, honestly, because how are you going to give to someone who hasn't worked as hard as the next person?
I don't want to go on. I don't want to go too far on this topic, but is dealing with the illegal immigrants so there are some Hispanics who work hard for where they want to work their way into America. Just hear me out. Sorry. Hear me out. There are people who do work hard for it, but then there's the ones that just hop over the border, go to their free-line job that someone just handed to them, and they just work for money that honestly they weren't.
Taxes.
Please say my opinion real quick.
I'm sorry.
No, whatever. It's just, I don't like when people take stuff from people who actually work hard for it. Because it's like, I'm going to say another example.
I'm not going to interrupt you.
Okay.
Whatever you want to say.
Anyway, it's like a kid taking a test who has studied all night, or basically the whole week, through about 12 a.m., and then a kid who just studied about 1 hour, looking over on his test and getting all the right answers and making the same grade he did. He just basically cheated the system, and I just don't really agree with it.
So is it ever moral in any case to take from those who have and give to those who don't? No. Okay, I know, Nicholas, you gave your answer. David?
No, my family, like honestly, my family's on government assistance, but I think that should come from charities, as I said earlier, the same thing with foster care system. It should come from charities and,
Private?
yes, private.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I think this is pretty obvious. Which structure raises more people out of poverty and why? Which structure, the capitalism, socialism, which one raises more people out of poverty and why does it do so? I can get David to say it, but he's just going to give you all the answers.
I know. I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit. Well, first thing first, like you said, socialism wants everyone to be poor. Capitalism gives you the chance to succeed. Like I read that 5,000 year book you gave me. It was freedom to buy, freedom. No, what was it called again? Try, and freedom to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But socialism does not allow that. So that's why America is considered to be this. Is considered to be just such a great place to start a business, because there's so little government interference, like in other countries, like everyone wants to get rid of it. That's it.
All right, it's going to be Gracie or Baylor. Which one of y'all want to jump on that?
But,
Or just give me an answer. Which one did you really think that would theoretically raise more people out of poverty?
capitalism.
Capitalism? Sure, capitalism.
Say a word.
David?
Capitalism ensures that poor people will always exist, but all of those poor people, despite their situations, have the ability to rise out of it. Socialism doesn't guarantee that.
Good. So many capitalists are blamed for being cold-hearted or uncaring because, whenever we say that, well, we don't want to give out food stamps or we don't want to, provide for somebody's, mortgage or whatever, or subsidize loans or whatever, we get blamed for being uncaring or cold-hearted because we believe government should not give out food stamps or welfare. What would your response to be that be if someone were to say that?
Some people have a need for food stamps, like they literally have a need for it, like their parents are working multiple jobs and still aren't making enough. But some people, they're just lazy and just say they need food stamps when honestly they could go get a good job and pay for their own stuff.
Take the moral high ground on this. How could you, we spoke about this in my class before, how can you take the moral high ground in this argument, do you think?
3 weeks of the class.
Think about the poor people though. They're so hungry and thin. They don't have modern phones.
Well, do you think that it hurts the poor to have social programs like this, or does it benefit them?
The problem is there's a lot of people abusing the system.
Yeah.
That's the main issue.
Do you think it's bad for them? I mean, even though they're abusing the system, do you think that they're profiting off of it in the long run, or do you think it's hurting them?
Like the actual poor people or the fake
The people who are abusing it.
Or the people who are benefiting from it. They get free stuff. They're doing nothing.
Would it not be abusing them in the long run? Let me ask David.
In the long run, yes, it definitely would be abusing them. I read basically this article a while back. It was looking back on FDR and what he did, but what it looks at is that his social programs probably would have extended the Great Depression by probably about 7 years if World War II had never come. So those people would have continued to be poor, would have continued to be in bad situations, and the government would have continued to have no funds.
All right, so we're going to do the same thing on a scale of 1 to 10. Based on economics and a candidate's stance on economics versus yours, how important is that when you select your candidate? Bailey? 9, okay.
About 8 or 9.
8 or 9?
8, 10, that's gonna literally make or break your country.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. David?
10.
Okay. So far, that seems like the most important one so far. Okay.
You don't
Well-
want your country just falling apart.
Yeah, my
That's right.
judgment on Bernie Sanders went down really low when he said, "Oh, we get free college." I said, "Nothing's free in this country, especially college."
It's refreshing to know that. So this next section we're going to go into, we're going to wrap it up with this, and this is one thing I want the audience to listen to more than anything. We're here to listen to them and take in even constructive criticism on this. Easy, Gracie.
Down for art card.
All right. first off, what got you interested in politics? What made you want to show up here? What makes you, or what would inspire you to stay involved in politics? And we'll start with you, Haley.
Well, in your class, you had said that nowhere in the Constitution does it say separation between church and state. I've just been thinking on that a lot. Like, it's been months since your class, and I have social studies right now,
Yeah.
and she's talking a lot about that. And I'm just kind of sitting in class like, it's not what I believe in. I'm gonna keep on
Just raise your hand and ask the question. That's all you gotta do. But I'm glad you're thinking about it. Gracie, what inspires you to get involved in politics, stay involved, or even have an opinion about things?
The adrenaline rush. I love getting into arguments about politics.
All right.
It
Oh, Julie Nugent.
well, that too. But like I do too. I love knowing the answer, but still getting mad at them. I just love hearing them. I just love hearing them ramble off about stuff, and I'm just over here like, can't know the answer.
It's fun being right.
I just like to. I like. To
You like the strategy of debate.
I like to pick at them.
Cool. Nicholas.
So, I got politics, that was the question, right?
Yeah, what gets you involved, what makes you want to stay engaged in politics or interests you?
The fact the liberals can take away anything I can with basically without putting any thought or effort into the argument. That kind of scares me. So therefore I try to get into it so I can keep those rights.
Okay.
I don't want to lose them.
Keeping your God-given rights. David, what about you?
Really, none of my family has ever been politically involved, ever, even barely graduated high school, and have never voted in generations. But I was really introduced to it in ninth grade, because my ninth grade year, my freshman year, fell on the 2016 election. So basically we had like most of our school was Bernie Bros, and like the really big Trumpers, which I personally have my own issues with Trump, but Bernie Sanders is just atrocious. He's not like a fairy or anything. But basically, I started realizing how important they are to our future as a country, and I enjoyed the discussion with other people, even if they don't agree with me, and learning from that.
Okay. Now, and I know it probably seems to everybody in this room, it probably seems more and more that we are seeing less young conservatives. Not pulling statistics on that, but that's part of the reason I wanted to have you guys here, is to show that not everybody thinks like a communist like David Hogg does. So we're seeing more young people are aspiring to socialism, they're aspiring to government structures that mandate total control. Why does socialism seem to be attracting young people more than capitalism or conservative ideas? Nicholas?
Socialism's easy. It's easy to it's kind of like when you're a teenager, it's kind of easy to process, like, free stuff. Don't have to work for it. It's a pretty good combo, I like that.
Yeah.
It's just so simplistic. It's like baby logic. I get free stuff and bad people have to pay for it. That's like what the leftists keep pushing. Like, they always seem so just childish. Their politics and whatnot, and how they push and stuff. Like, oh, the bad man's not giving you your money. Take the money away from the bad man. You give her. Yeah, it's just so easy. Sounds right.
Gracie, you had your hand up second.
I think it's like because not everybody, but the majority of America puts their trust and their faith into the government, because they do everything. They put the military, they put economics and all that. So I guess young kids, they get influenced by some of their parents. Like I know I was raised by my parents by saying the government, they don't have all my control. I have, as which amendment is it say you can abolish the government? Which amendment is that?
Wait, what?
Which amendment
Yeah,
is
let's
it?
go down.
I forgot. I'm sorry. It's been a few months.
It
Where you
talks
can,
about it in the Declaration.
where people can gang, where basically Americans can gang up and take over the government.
Oh, that's the same thing.
That's the same. Yeah, it should be
Pretty
the
much,
same,
yeah.
right? Well, great, my bad. We're already talking about
Pretty
apology. Okay, the Second Amendment.
There you go.
Basically, like I was raised where I was raised based upon the Second Amendment, and just that don't always put your faith and your trust in the government, because they're not all what they seem. And I guess that some teenagers and some youth and some children are put into that mindset that, oh yeah, if the government can go and attack a terrorist group, you can put your faith and trust into them, and put your whole personal stuff into this. So I guess, and like as Nicholas said, just like free stuff, don't have to work for it. I don't have to break my back doing just the simplest. I have to pay for it. Then like I guess I'm free. I can kick my feet up and just chill here.
Yep.
So I guess it's just.
David?
Another aspect of it, away from the economic aspect of it, that a lot of us teenagers really like and appeals to us is the social aspect. The fact of, collectivism, seeing ourselves as our race, our gender, that empowering us and seeing each other as groups rather than individuals, that natural tribalism. A lot of teenagers are picking that up and jumping onto those social issues without really researching what they mean or transcending their, race or gender or anything like that, and realizing that they are more than that they are an individual.
So this is the last question. We're going to wrap everything up with this. And this is important. I really want you to think about this because this is something that we're all curious about. And we want to know how conservatives do a better job at reaching out to the youth demographic.
You're the counterculture.
Now we are.
Well, yeah, now you are. I mean,
David, you got something?
Basically with like his counterculture comment, kind of a phrase I've started using for a while now is the counterculture to your counterculture. Basically, now it's the norm to basically go against decency, to, not treat people as humans, treat them as groups, to, believe in, basically helping people without the government forcing you to help them. Basically, what used to be this dyed hair punk rock counterculture is now the norm, and basically being decent, not saying punk rock is bad, but that's just associated with that group, but being decent is a counterculture in our modern age.
Okay. Well, how can we do better at reaching out to y'all?
I mean, what you did right here was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally wise, whenever I listen to a conservative speak like by this, or like hearing my grandpa, just like listen to how realistic they sound and how much influence there is, or like inspiration. It's just like, it's really like basically gets my heart pumping up for politics.
That's cool. Pumped up for politics.